right, greetings, for joining us. Okay, all right. Pronouncing some of this stuff is actually, let me check it. So yeah, the Russian UFO incident from 1989. Let me check this out. Okay. So I didn't do a whole lot of research on all this, but I probably could have, but I didn't. Okay, just getting prepared here. So it's in the thumbnail. Let's see. It was. I have to go back to my notes here, or my whatever you want to call it. So there's like just basically like robot aliens. I guess children. I didn't even read through the whole article of it. It's always kids playing, and then aliens show up. In Africa, they have situations like that, but so Russia, there's kind of like these robots appeared. I guess they're scanning people. I guess I didn't research it too much, but I did a channeling on this a long time ago. I remember this one because I never heard of it, so it kind of got my attention. So I haven't probably done anything on this in probably 3 or 4 years, maybe longer than that. Maybe 3 or 4 years. Like that. Yeah, it was kind of freaky. I mean, it's one thing you have aliens, grays, and all that. These are actual robots. It feels like, they, because our planet has like a protection grid around it, supposedly. It's working out really well. Thank you, Joe Biden, for being here from the Insect Collective or wherever you come from. The No Brain Collective. Yeah, I guess that runs in the family, apparently. Yeah, it just goes down the drain when you keep cloning yourself. It goes down the drain there. But it feels like these guys got through our field somehow and started doing their thing. I don't think they knew where they were either, from what I'm gathering from it. I guess once they didn't really know where they were, but they're just there to scan people and try to figure out how they got there. I believe they just disappeared afterwards. So the children, the only ones claiming to have witnessed the aliens. Of course, they're not going to make something up like that, especially if you're scared out of your mind. So a ball circled, vanished, and reappeared minutes later and hovered. The children claimed to have seen 3-eyed alien beings wearing bronze-colored boots and discs on the chest, and a robot exiting the object. According to the children, the alien used a ray gun to make a 16-year-old boy disappear until the object departed. Yeah. So yeah, it just scared the hell out of kids, and I don't think that was a government psyop thing. Why would they do that? I mean, you never know, I guess. That's a weird one. Of course, they all are weird, but it's funny how it's always around kids. Like, you can take that for everyone on that. Even in Africa, I think Australia had like similar, not like that, but around schools, and the aliens would show up. Maybe I'm just connecting my own version of this, but because they feel I guess the innocence of the kids and all that. They don't feel out the human nonsense that we go through. So it just, they're kind of like, I don't know if they're like attracted to the kids, but just the vibration that's out there. Like, I guess they know they won't be judged. And they start appearing there and scaring the hell out of everybody. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. And Zardoz. The movie, it's like a really weird S&M movie. It basically has like aliens. It's like occultic energy connected to it. I don't think I've ever talked about this. It's freaking weird. I never seen the movie. I don't think I can handle watching this thing. It's too freaking stupid. It was a 1974. Maybe one day I'll enjoy its wonderfulness. I don't know if we can find it online, but Zardoz, yeah, it's like this alien head, and I'll show it. But it's like some kind of occultic world. And it has Sean Connery has him wearing a dress. He's dressed in drag, which is, kind of like elite type of indoctrination. Of course, he was already James Bond after that. So I guess that's one way to connect it to your feminine side. So it's just a bizarre movie in general. Yeah, it's just when I saw that, it's like I've seen it before. The images of it, it's like, oh geez, why not? Oh yeah, I didn't come prepared here at all, did I? And then the alien carvings. I don't think. Yeah, I was so busy focusing on the. I don't know how you pronounce this. It's Talos, however you pronounce that. Anyway, it's these large human structures, which I don't think I ever heard of this. It's here actually in California, and I'll show it. This is very unique. All right, we'll just go into it. I'll just, it's hard to describe it. Oh crap, I'm not ready. Guess I wasn't. I just didn't come here prepared. Just make it quick here. So you have an assortment of things to look at. That's far from normal. Again, what's normal there? Okay, so I'm talking calendar prep sessions. We have scheduler. We have a shop here, and we'll just leave it at that. I forgot to set that up. I'm so busy looking at all this stuff over here. We're getting there. Before we go into that, we have it's Russian. The kids getting zapped. It's different. And yeah, I don't think the kids are making this up. They showed up in an orb and started zapping everybody. I guess something around those lines. And this is 19. And there's no way the hell the kids are gonna make that one up. And I would, because humans are probably, adults would probably go crazy. So it's like that was an easy target. Hey, by the way, there's weirdness out here. So it's something. I mean, because kids, happen to kids. So it's like something out of a movie. If adults are talking about it, probably taking that too seriously with it. So either way, they found their way here and started screwing around. It doesn't seem like they were here very long, though. It doesn't feel that way, but it's definitely a mystery for sure. So, and you have the roto right up here. Obviously, your good old adults know everything, so they're going to shut all that down. I guess this is the city, or obviously it was out in the middle of nowhere when it happened, or something around those lines. I don't think it's making it clear a city park. Playing football. What is that? Okay. So anyway, that's the city where it happened in. So, little red mark there. Just of course Russia. So we have this Zardoz, the flying head. I guess he pilots the thing. Yeah, little S&M thing going on there. You have your cult leader stuff. It's all very cult-like. It's kind of spooky, but it's like it does make sense why some of the people. I mean, this movie was actually made, as cheesy as it might be. It's like the S&M stuff going on there. Shit. Gotta love it. But it does explain some of the cult-like people that are here. Worlds that are, doing a lot of mind control, and That's what this movie has, a lot of that, and it can come from other realities and all that. So yeah, joys. I mean, they can create different religions or whatever it might be from other worlds, alien creatures, and we have such bizarre religions here, so it can come from somewhere for sure. And then we have, in anyway, we just call these the, yeah, we have a, I guess that's a horse, but these are, they didn't really, I think these are like a few thousand years old. I forget how, or maybe 1,000 years old. I don't think they really know anything. I think some of these people found them and drove their car over them a little bit. I forgot which one they were doing that with. But yeah, these are, and let's see. So has this, has the, so I guess it's on the border of Phoenix, something like that. Intaglios, I forget how you pronounce it, but it is in California though, and it's I'm assuming out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, that is the, yeah. So quite the sight there. So it's happened to these guys too. Now, like what they are, I don't think they're going to go into too much detail of that, but come on, it's quite the sight though. I might have seen it in the past. I don't really remember. All right. We'll see where that all goes. So, yeah. All right. So we go to the Russian UFO incident, Zardoz, and the I can't pronounce that. Telgos, something like that. So, all right, we'll see what we get there and move on from there. Fritzy's here. They're kind of zoned out. So, yeah, it's heavy energies going on. So, okay, all right, blessings. There we go. Greetings. We are a consciousness of the UFO Russian incident. Like I said, the alien beings there were curious. They're not one to speak or put messages out there, more like scanning the vibrations. And some of you probably tapped in some of these beings, not even aware of it. They are aware of the Archon energies that can be reprogrammed by Archon frequencies. Not that they were at that time. So basically, it's artificial intelligence, but they do have some organic features also. But most these beings are mostly artificial intelligence, and yeah, I mean, basically, they could have created their own colony and did their own, their own race of beings. Basically, they're not ones to take over humans or anything of that kind. More like analyzing. They don't really understand it from their perspective. I mean, they do to a certain level, but they can't copy it. I mean, they can scan a human consciousness and create like a human drone out of it, but it'll still be very robotic. Not that they're there to do that, but these children that saw these beings and astrally are connecting to them to learn more about them. Obviously, they're still going through a lot of trauma, even through this incarnation, but some of them do get messages every now and then about the incident. It's like connecting to old friends. Think like some of the children, in a comical ways, kind of attracted them to come there, not consciously, but would be terrified of it, but also intrigued at the same time. I mean, how many kids get to go through something like that? So it might traumatize them for the rest of their lives to a certain level. They're not going to see those type of beings ever again. Sometimes some of those children actually wanted to see them again. but have a better understanding of it, more mature, and like talk to you. Like you would see something like out of a movie, basically. To call them back. Will that happen in this world? Probably not due to the vibrations of it, but they would be happy to return and be more understood. And sometimes you need a terrifying being to wait. So it's part of alien disclosure. Look at it that way. Now, was that the beings? Was that their intentions? No. So you can say that even your galactic beings that are here that are protecting your Earth allowed it to happen. You can say they were aware of what they were coming in. They didn't weren't always fully aware of what it was. Well, obviously, once they showed up, and they're only here for a short time anyway, but it was enough that lasted a lifetime, though. So just like a dose of your, once again, your awakening. And there has been other nothing like that, but there has been insectoid beings appearing to people to a certain level, but they weren't always aware that was alien. Like a giant spider being, those are pretty common, at least in dreams, depending on where you are in the world. Usually in a dream state, not necessarily in a physical state. But what those children saw was very real, as you can see, because those kids, adults, yeah, they wouldn't be able to handle the frequency as much, and their minds played tricks on them. But with the kids, they remember exactly what they saw. As crazy as it might sound, but they're children, so they're still at that vibration of the aliens. So they might be young, but they're still at a higher frequency. A lot of adults have lost those frequencies and more lower energies. So to give you another, I mean, to go into another direction on this, so think about ancient aliens and think about, children of the past and giving, depending on their, in the ancient world, depending on their frequency, they can receive downloads and do, remarkable things as they do now. And, doing scientific studies at 12 years old, things like that. Of course, a lot of that history has been lost, but just kind of give an idea of how the young energies, are still part of the origins they come from. So, but as for this incident, it has been pretty much covered up because you don't hear much about it. And Russia does have other, not like that, but they are more open to alien visitation to a certain level. Even China, it's more open than the U.S. U.S. you can say is what's keeping a lot of this shut down worldwide. So this is. Greetings, this is Zardoz. Basically, it's like galactic warriors, almost like similar to Barbarella. Galactic warriors that, yes, are not known to wear a lot of clothing. Basically, like galactic barbarians, you can say. It's one way of. It's also similar to like your He-Man. It's similar to that. There's primitive alien beings, but yes, very connected to the astral realms. And it can look occultic, and it is to a certain level. It's basically, so Zardoz, this kind of the S&M. It just looks strange in your human form, but at least from your perspective. But yeah, they're not used to wearing clothes. But they also had creatures there too. It wasn't just people wearing masks and things like that, and very cult-like. It was basically some societies start out like this, very primitive, also advanced, but very scantily. Many people are not wearing many clothes. They're still figuring themselves out. And some of you can probably remember those realities. So, and they can get quite extreme at the same time. Of course, your world has some of that, or a lot of it. It just you forgot your ancient world was very much like that. So it was advanced, as some of you remember. I mean, obviously the past has been shut down because you focus more on your your modern times, but you are still connected to your ancestors. So it depends on how you look at your ancestry. Basically, humans, that aren't galactic people, but dealing with galactic beings, but still, you still have even the primitive humans had more of a fourth and fifth dimensional um, mental state. A lot of them did, at least, not all of them. And as you know, there's a lot of strangeness there, especially the Egyptians. The Egyptians had more of the higher frequencies moving around. Of course, they had their Atlanteans, but the Egyptians showed off a lot of their tech and everything, and even humans even understood it. I mean, there were alien beings there, but it's like humans and aliens were kind of what do you call it, equals, until the cataclysms occurred and everything became lost. So, what's this? Greetings. You can say we are the Nazca line, the Nazca beings. You can say we are connected to this indigenous area near California. So there's another group you can say that created these entities there of basically you can say marking your world that they were here. So basically like a tall gray energy, but still very humanoid, but also you know yeah sometimes they mark on your world the animals they take. So it's like they might take a horse or a cow depending on the situation. But it's basically for other encountering beings. So basically, not all aliens know each other. And some of you feel it's Anunnaki. It's not Anunnaki, no. Even Anunnaki lines. There's Anunnaki influence, you could say. There's a lot of Anunnaki in that area in the Nazca lines. But in this case, there's actually a lot of other, which has been lost, a lot of symbols written across your world for obvious reasons, especially on the pyramids, because what is actually about activating the pyramids? But basically, it's similar to like your crop circle. It's basically was leaving a message for future beings. But once again, a lot of these alien beings are not going to make themselves known. Like even the aliens have no idea what these groups are because none of them feel like they need to identify themselves for whatever reason. It is connected to your founders, you can say. So it's just there's a lot of founding DNA that you have, or your ancient DNA, as you would word it, that you don't even the races no longer exist. So, and part of your complexity, why humans are getting so lost in the thoughts of others, and over time, I mean, this can be remembered astrally or even consciously as more humanity wants to remember its primitive self from its past. I mean, there's a pushback to remember that, but you can't remember your Earth's history. Some of you have versions of it. You can't access that because many here do not want it. Doesn't mean they're trying to be block you out. It's just they're not ready for it. There's just you're still being human. That's the thing. And humans, when a soul takes on this human vehicle, they want to just explore it, and they don't really want to connect to alien. I mean, they're still trying to figure this out. But some of you are, basically you are indigenous beings, basically alien indigenous beings, and you're, eventually you just got to. So this is just teaching you just to put your mark out there, put your, even if people do see you as crazy, because eventually humanity will be more curious. But it is known to erase history, because it really doesn't. I wouldn't say the majority of humans, but there are agendas, those that just want to keep it the way it is currently. The fear, of course, there's the elites that are involved with it, but the elites aren't exactly always powerful, but I mean, they can be derailed very easily. Also, that's why there are a fear of the human race, because but as long as the human race is not going by fear, going more by love, because fear, that's what they have control over. You know how that works. But the whole love scenario, they can't take care. They can't take that down. But some of you can remember your Earth's past as humans connected to alien technologies, activating alien technologies yourself, basically rooting into your own alien DNA, your ancestry DNA. That is very galactic. It is very much connected to of course, your Atlanteans, but also your Orions. There's Atlantean DNA that has not been activated among you, where you actually can change the color of your skin by activating it. Now, some just sit out in the sun. That's one way of doing it, but there are other ways. Obviously, you're not at the level of that yet, but basically, yes, many are changing their genders here, as you can see. But you can actually change. Some here have actually watched their skin color change over time, and that's part of that DNA. But there's actually ways of actually activating where it can happen automatically. Obviously, you're not at that level yet, but where basically humans can change color like a chameleon. Some have those DNA currently, so it just shows you how connected you are with the Earth. And yes, you can look more animal-like for some, depending, just because it shows what kind of animal DNA you're connected to. So, that's this.